Hi dear friends and subscribers, welcome to the Cricket Happening Show. In this particular Cricket Happening Show, we are going to have the first day report of the New Zealand versus West Indies, which was the first test match of the series, which was played at the University Oval in Dunedin. Now for New Zealand, they had a great start to this test series, and predictably so, the West Indian bowling, even though there was some grass left in the pitch, there was it was cloudy in the morning, and that's what prompted the West Indian captain Darren Sammy to actually, after winning the toss, he elected to field, which according to me was the right decision, because there was a cloud cover, there was a little bit of grass on the pitch left, so probably Darren Sammy thought that his bowlers could really do something, basically get some inroads into the New Zealand batting lineup before lunchtime. But let me tell you, it was as predicted. As I predicted in my preview, it was going to be very difficult for this West Indian bowling lineup to even bowl New Zealand out twice, and that was absolutely proved on the first day, and probably this is an indication of things to come in this test series between New Zealand and West Indies. Well, New Zealand finished at a very commanding position. Not only, as I said, they had a great start to their great start to this particular test series by putting a very huge score on the board on the first day, making 367 runs for 3 wickets. The feature being 2 unbeaten centuries, with both the batsmen really getting to centuries after quite a long time. And they are both the mainstays as far as this New Zealand cricket team is concerned. As I said in my preview, these are the 2 men who have to come up with some big scores if New Zealand have to consistently hit the 500 to 600 mark, and that's what precisely happened. And right now, if you look at the New Zealand score, they finished at 367 for 3 of the full 90 overs being bowled for the day, even though West Indies were a bit weak on the over rate. So that's the reason the extra 25 minutes was played. And well, Ross Taylor went on to score an unbeaten 103 with 13 boundaries. And what was good was Ross Taylor getting on to his 9th century after a span of 1 year. And Brendon McCullum, the New Zealand captain, who has been really struggling, even though he has been putting some scores, but he has not been able to get a century. The last one was a double century that he hit on the tour of India. But here Brendon McCullum, the captain, made a very aggressive knock, an unbeaten aggressive 109 not out with 14 fours and 3 sixes, which was very well struck. 2 sixes were hit of the bowling of Shane Shillingford, so straight down the ground, and then that pull over mid-wicket of the bowling of Shannon Gabriel into the stands. That was the 3rd 6. So that was the feature as far as this New Zealand batting was concerned. They definitely had a very good opening partnership. It was, as I said, even though it was cloudy and there was a wind in the pitch, but I thought the West Indian bowlers couldn't really exploit it. But Tino Best, yes, he really tried a lot, pretty hard to get a wicket. In fact, he was unlucky too, which I'll be talking about. So it all started with New Zealand being inserted in. For New Zealand, Aaron Redmond came into the team as expected, and Peter Fulton and Hamish Rutherford opened the innings for New Zealand. Well, as far as the initial this was concerned, Hamish Rutherford was very severe, or anything short, or anything which was on the offside, and he used to rock back and pull, and he was also very good stroking through the offside is something which is the forte of Rutherford, and he showed that in full measure. And one would remember that University Oval in Dunedin against England was the time when Hamish Rutherford on his debut collected a maiden century with a very big knock of 171, and yesterday he was looking very good. The West Indian bowlers were really carved through the offside, and they repeatedly started bowling him to the offside, and Rutherford really punished them in a very severe manner. Peter Fulton, on the other hand, was his sedate self. He was showing some door defense, and he was pretty sedate because Hamish Rutherford was doing all the scoring, and Peter Fulton, and both of them put up a very good partnership. There was nothing in the pitch barring Sammy, one of the deliveries which actually could have taken Fulton's wicket. but Fulton was lucky. It went over the stumps, and Hamish Rutherford and Peter Fulton really started caning this West Indian bowling, and they put on 95 runs for the first wicket before Hamish Hamish Rutherford in the previous over of Shane Shillingford had actually hit a wonderful six. He had launched him over long on for a six, and the very next over when Shane Shillingford came for his second over after he being hit for a six, Hamish Rutherford went for another shot. It was a similar shot, and probably one was thinking it was going to be a similar result, sailing over the fence for a six. But for Narsingh Devanarayan did a wonderful job. The ball was going away from him, it was going high, it was going over him, but what Narsingh Devanarayan did is he actually stuck out his right hand at long on, and Devanarayan over the shoulder and over his head, he managed to take the catch. That was a wonderful catch, and as I said, Hamish Rutherford was looking pretty dangerous, and West Indies finally got the breakthrough just at the stroke of lunch when Hamish Rutherford was dismissed. Caught Devanarayan, bowled Shillingford for 62 with 10 fours and 1 6. It was thorough entertainment for the spectators here at the University Oval in Dunedin, and then that was the first wicket. So finally West Indies got the breakthrough, and then walked in Aaron Redmond. Aaron Redmond hit one boundary, and then at lunch New Zealand were exactly 100 for 1, and after lunch Aaron Redmond definitely played some very good strokes. In fact, off the back foot he beautifully punched one past the point region, and he also played one good off drive too, and he was looking pretty good, Aaron Redmond, along with Peter Fulton. Peter Fulton was content to stay at the crease, but after that Aaron Redmond finally was dismissed as Tino Best actually gave them one more wicket. The first wicket after lunch was taken by Tino Best as he bowled a delivery to Hamish Rutherford, but Hamish Rutherford was shaping to actually probably turn it down the leg side, but instead he got himself squared up. The ball took the leading edge of the bat, the ball ballooned in the air. Marlon Samuels in the gully region took a real sitter there, and Hamish and Aaron Redmond on his first match, on his comeback match after a span of 5 years for New Zealand, was a goner. Caught Samuels bowled Best for 20 with 3 boundaries, but he looked good in his knock of 20. So that made the score 117 for 2, and in walked Ross Taylor to join Peter Fulton. And after Ross Taylor walked in, Tino Best, as I said, he had already tasted the wicket of Aaron Redmond, was bowling very well. He was hitting the right lines. He was making, and in fact, as you know, Ross Taylor, when he initially comes in, he's a bit shaky outside the off stump. But what Tino Best did best was actually produced a wonderful lifter to Ross Taylor. It took the shoulder of the bat. Ross Taylor had to fend at the delivery. The ball took the shoulder of the bat, and the ball went over. In fact, it was in the air for quite a long time, but it was over the slips cordon. And unfortunately, even though it didn't go to hand, even though the slips, Darren Sammy tried to stretch his hand to take the catch, it was quite high, and in fact, it went harmlessly over. In the sense, it went over the slip cordons and into the fence. And it was pretty unfortunate, but what a ball which was produced by Tino Best. If at all they could have taken that wicket, if the ball had gone to hand, that would have been wonderful. But really wanted to commend Tino Best for that wonderful delivery, real ripper to Tino Best, to Ross Taylor, and Ross Taylor had to fend it off, and that was something which was, one thought that that was the time when Tino Best was looking in his element, and he was bowling with lots of fire. But that was it. So Ross Taylor then, once that was sort of, I wouldn't say it could be a life, because it didn't go into the hand, it actually went over the slip cordon fielders and went into the fence. After that, the score with Ross Taylor, then once he passed through that, he started unveiling his strokes. He decided that he would play his strokes, and he played some marvelous strokes. In fact, his customary pull strokes, his customary the pulls over mid wicket, over square leg, he started doing his job there. And Peter Fulton, after making 61, was a victim, as Shane Shillingford, it was Darren Sammy who actually picked up his wicket, and Peter Fulton was dismissed. Scott Edwards bowled Sammy for 61 with 11 fours, and that made the New Zealand score 185 for 3. from 185 for 3. It was a really very tough time for the New Zealanders, as Brendon McCullum, the New Zealand captain, joined Ross Taylor, was always looking after that particular life that he got, that is that so-called life that he got of the bowling of Best. Ross Taylor really got his bearings right, and even though in that partnership after that there was absolutely no looking back for New Zealand, because basically it was absolutely wonderful stuff, with an aggressive partnership, thanks to Brendon McCullum, who started playing all his strokes. In fact, you could see that Brendon McCullum, after 3 years, was getting to his 7th Test century, and what a wonderful feeling for Brendon McCullum. Ross Taylor going on to get his 9th century in Test cricket, and that was also a wonderful feeling, because both the batsmen who are the mainstays of the New Zealand cricket team and are the most experienced players in this team had to do so, and they did it to a nicety, by taking the score from 185 to 367 for 3 at the close of play on the first day of the first Test match here of the series, played at the University Oval in Dunedin, with Ross Taylor contributing an unbeaten 103 with 13 fours. In this 182-run partnership, even though Ross Taylor was a bit slow compared to Brendon McCullum, the captain, who really decided to take the aggressive route to the West Indian pace bowlers, was not out on 109 with 14 fours and 3 sixes. As I said, 2 sixes of Shane Shillingford was hit down the ground, and then that wonderful pull of Shannon Gabriel over mid-wicket for a 6. Now there was 3 sixes which was hit, and at the close of play, New Zealand, as I said, on the driver's seat. They have had a great start to this to this Test series here, with Ross Taylor not out on 103 with 13 fours, and Brendon McCullum not out on 109 with 14 fours and 3 sixes, absolutely dictating terms to this West Indian bowling, which has lacked absolute teeth in this particular first innings of New Zealand. With Tino Best, well, I thought he bowled well in patches, 21 overs, 4 minutes, 87 runs on 1 wicket. But that ball that he bowled to Ross Taylor is something which was a real, as I said, real ripper. But unfortunately for Tino Best, the ball, even though Ross Taylor fended, the ball went over the slip cordons, which was unfortunate. Shannon Gabriel, as I rightly said, he was looking listless. 17 overs, 3 minutes, none for 98 for him. Dannon Sammy at times managed to swing the ball compared to all the other bowlers, especially with the cloud cover in the morning. He tended to basically swing the ball a bit. 18 overs, 3 minutes, 1 for 68 for him. Shane Shillingford toiled manfully, and he bowled excellently. I thought 28 overs, 5 minutes, 1 for 88, but he was absolutely blunted once Brendon McCullum came to the crease, as Brendon McCullum and Ross Taylor really blunted Shane Shillingford to take lots of runs of him. And Narsingh Devanarayan bowled 6 overs, no maiden, none for 15, and that was the match situation for New Zealand. Day 1 of the first Test match between New Zealand and West Indies, played at Dunedin, with West Indies winning the toss and electing to field. New Zealand finishing on a commanding position at 367 for 3 of the full quota of 90 overs being bowled by the West Indians. But well, one thing that I'll say, that the pitch, as I said, again for West Indies, the best bet, the one thing is that the new ball is due, even though the new ball probably was taken just before close of play, but it didn't yield any results. But one good factor for West Indies when the second day starts would be that the new ball, it's a new ball, and there will be some greenish tinge on the pitch, there will be some morning dew on the pitch, and that would really help the pace bowlers. And one probably would be hoping that Tino Best is able to break this very threatening fourth wicket partnership, threatening unbeaten fourth wicket partnership between Ross Taylor and Brendon McCullum. So that is, and as far as New Zealand are concerned, they would be probably hoping that they could put up a huge score, a massive score on the board, and really pile on the pressure on the West Indians. But as I already said, the West Indian bowling is lacking a lot of teeth, barring the spinners. But I was a bit surprised that Sunil Narine was not being considered yesterday. One does not know what was the thinking behind that. Well, that is for the selectors to really mull on. But well, that's the stump situation on the first day of the first Test at the University Oval in Dunedin. Well, from here, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to talk about some cricket news. Now, this is a cricket news which is ICC, which has actually made the nominations for the ICC Cricketer of the Year award, and the nominations are Mahendra Singh Dhoni, the Indian captain, has been nominated for 2 cricket awards in this ICC in 2013 ICC Cricket Awards, which is an annual feature, really appreciating the wonderful performances done by all the cricket players all over the world. And Mahendra Singh Dhoni of India has been nominated for 2 awards. One is the ODI Cricket Best ODI Cricketer of the Year award, and also the ICC Cricketer of the Year award. And also Mahendra Singh Dhoni has been named the captain of the ODI team of year 2013. Alistair Cook, the English captain, has been named the ICC's Test cricket captain for 2013. Well, I'm not going to go into the teams. I don't have much time. Other than that, dear fans, friends, subscribers, I won't be able to. There are some lot of nominations, but I don't have much time to share on this cricket show today, unless and until cricket becomes a full profession for me, where I can really dwell on cricket in a very eloquent manner. And sometimes I feel this YouTube broadcast of 20 minutes is less for me, because I can dwell on cricket in an endless manner. But well, that's the case right now. So well, dear fans and subscribers, always a pleasure to bring you this cricket happening show every day. And with this particular comment, I would like to end my cricket show for today, and hoping to bring you my next cricket happening show tomorrow with a second day report. And I hope you all liked my first day's play report on the first test match between West Indies and New Zealand, which was played at the University Oval in Dunedin. With this, I end my report. Goodbye.